Hello SkeinTwister owners. This video is to show you how to swap the motor out. So you'll have a replacement motor like this and your SkeinTwister. I've already removed the hook just to be a little bit easier here. The tools that you are going to need for this are as follows. A number 2 Phillips screwdriver. It's kind of the medium-sized head. A number 1 Phillips screwdriver, which is a slightly smaller one. You can deal with just one or the other of these, but I like to have both because I like to use the proper one in the proper screw heads. It just makes it a little easier. You'll need a small 2.5mm flat screwdriver, and I do sell this as part of the motor replacement kit if you don't have one. And then the last thing you'll need is the 2.5mm hex L key, and you got one of these originally with a SkeinTwister in order to install the hook. All right, so those are the tools that we will be using today. So the first thing you want to do is unscrew the SkeinTwister from the base. And I do this with the number 2 screwdriver head. You can do this with a number 1 as well. It's just, you know, a little bit easier to do it with a number 2. The other thing that I like to do is I like to have a little dish for all of my screws. So keeps them from, you know, running away on me. So we'll just do this quickly here. All right, and now the base comes off. Then it is helpful to take off this shaft coupler. That's the next step, and we'll use the 2.5mm L key to do that. Shaft coupler is held on by this inner bolt right here. It's clamped by that inner bolt. So you'll just take the short end and make sure to push down while you're turning, otherwise it can kind of slip out. And these heads are kind of hard to strip, but it is possible to strip them. So, and it is clamped down with a fair bit of force. So press down and turn. There you go. And as soon as it's loosened, you know, it doesn't take much. It'll just come right off. Although I do like to kind of make sure that that's a little bit loosened later for putting it back on. Put that aside. All right, now we have these 4 screws on the bottom that hold the lid on. For these, I like to use the number 1 screwdriver. It just fits those screw heads a little bit nicer. Although you can still use a number 2 if that's all you have, or you can use a number 1 on all the other screws too. That's fine. You might notice when these come off that there might be sort of like a little bit of goober on the threads, if you can see that. That is totally cool and normal. That's just some residual Loctite. It keeps those from, you know, loosening up over time or vibrating out. You don't have to reapply any thread locker or Loctite. You know, it kind of has enough residual in the threads, on both the screw and in the hole, to keep these from really vibrating out. All right, so those 4, and now the lid just comes right off, and you see the guts. So now we'll use the small 2.5mm screwdriver to unscrew both of these motor wires. Of course, I should say at this point, your SkeinTwister should not be plugged in. Make sure you unplug it before you do this. Also, you might want to take a picture at this point so that you remember which wire is in which location, because that will determine the direction that your SkeinTwister rotates. There is also a key if you forget to do that and take them out and then you're like, oh crap, which way was it? There's sort of a key. It is very small. It is written in white on the circuit board right here. It says on the bottom, it says black/red CW/CCW. So if the black is attached to this bottom screw point, it rotates clockwise. If the red is attached to this bottom screw point, it rotates counterclockwise. So you can loosen up these screws. Note that these screws do not come all the way out. You'll just unscrew them enough so that they're kind of flush with the top of this black plastic connector block. Oh, and some of you might have 3 screws. You might have one in the middle. Just ignore that one in the middle. You're only using the top and the bottom. All right, so after those are loosened, these should just be able to pull right out. All right, now I like to put the SkeinTwister like this so it's nice and stable. And I hold the motor like this with my hand, because once you loosen up all of these 4 screws, it'll just drop out, and what you don't want to do is you don't want it to like kind of drop with a lot of force onto that circuit board or onto this rotary pot. So, you know, they're not easy to break, but you don't want it to just go thunk and accidentally tweak something. So it's a little hard to see here, but I'm using the number 2 screwdriver for this, the larger one. Also, these screws, they are different from the enclosure screws. These will also have a little bit of Loctite goober on them. So these are different from the enclosure screws, but they are also very, very similar looking. So basically, I like to put them in 2 separate piles. So you already have your enclosure screws in one pile. I like to put my motor screws in a separate pile just so that I don't mix them up. All right, 2, 3, 4. And you can see, like, I'm kind of tilted this way, so that also reduces the chance of the motor falling out. So after this last screw is out, then what you can do is you can grab the motor and you can kind of tilt it. You don't need to take the circuit board out, but it's pretty close. So you can kind of take that out and rotate it a little bit, and it should slide right up and out. And then there's this extra little spacer plate, so you can take that out and put that aside too. All right, so put that motor aside, take your nice new motor, put the plate back on. It'll kind of only go in one direction. Some of them kind of snap in well, some of them don't. And you just want to make sure the wires are out of the way. And right now at this point, you want to make sure too that this little cable is out of the way, that it's not like over here to where it might be under the motor and the motor might pinch it. So just make sure it's kind of running underneath that circuit board and into the side there. So now you can kind of do the same sort of thing where you can kind of wiggle it in place. I stick the motor, the shaft down first, and that goes in that big hole, and then you can just rotate it in. Now at this point, you can make sure that all of your holes are lined up here, and you can start screwing it back in with your number 2 screwdriver. I'm just kind of anal about screwing things in, and I like to do them most of the way and then tighten them in an X pattern, just because that makes sure that everything's kind of lined up and centered well. Not totally 100% necessary, but just a good habit. So now I'm tightening them all up. And these should be really tight, like don't try to like break anything, but like it should be really, really good and snug. Okay, and now you can hook up your motor. The wires should be cut to the proper length already, and there should be a tiny split in, I don't know if you can see this, in the insulation. There should be like just a tiny little split. So all you have to do is pull that little piece of insulation that's split off. what I like to do, and this is sort of a, electronics technician trick, is I like to kind of stick a little bit of a fingernail in there and pull just a little bit so that it just starts to move. And then what you can do is you can kind of take this, this little bit of insulation here and twist as you're pulling the rest of it out. And what that does is it makes the wires twist together all nicely so that they don't splay out and they're just a little bit easier to handle. So I do the same thing here, stick my fingernail in, pull a little bit, and then twist as I'm pulling the rest off. Okay, I find it's easier to have the circuit board on the bottom for this next part. And I like to have the wires in my left hand and the screwdriver in my right, because I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed, it might be easier for you to do it the other way. So we are going to set this up. Does anybody remember which way it was to begin with? I don't. I think it was set up counterclockwise. So whatever, we'll do it counterclockwise. So counterclockwise means now the red is in the one furthest from me and the black is the one closest. I think that it's easier to stick the wire in on the side that's closest to this edge of the box first, just because it's a little easier to get that in. So you can make sure that this is like kind of, the screw is all the way up flush with the top of that black plastic. It'll make it a little bit easier to get in. Right now, the only thing that you kind of don't want to do is you don't want to just like shove it in. You want to do this a little bit carefully because you don't want the wires to kind of like splay out and not all get in the hole, and it's a little bit of a tight fit. So it's difficult to see, but when you have it in your hands, you'll be able to see it a little bit better, and you can just feel it too. So you can kind of feel where there's no resistance and the wires just slide right in. And ideally, then you can just screw it down with your little screwdriver. Ideally, there should be no, ideally the insulation should end and the wire should begin right at the end of this connector block here. So you shouldn't have insulation going into your connector block, which might interfere with a proper connection. And also you shouldn't have too much exposed wire sticking out of your connector block, which, I don't know, could potentially like short on something or something, although there's not a whole lot of danger of that in this. All right, so now I'm taking, oh, you can see that splayed out a little bit, so I'm just gonna twist it back in. And you can take your red and kind of do the same thing. You kind of feel a little bit, poke around, poke. I think mine is splayed out a little bit, so I just twist it with my hands. There we go. And that goes all the way in, and I'm just holding it with a little bit of pressure this way as I twist in, just so it doesn't, as I twist the screw in, just so it doesn't fall out. So there you go, and that should be in pretty good. You might want to give it just a small little tug just to make sure that it's in. And yeah, and these wires should be nicely routed around there. These should be nicely routed up to there. Nothing should be stuck underneath anything. That's pretty much it. Now you're ready to put the lid back on. So I grab the number 1 screwdriver and my enclosure screws, which I kept separate from my motor screws so that I didn't mix them up. Make sure they're all tight. They all look good. And we can put it back on the base. going to use my number 2 screwdriver. I would not use a drill to put the screws in and out. Drills tend to be like a little bit aggressive for the fasteners that are used in here, especially even for the wood, because they already have like pre-drilled guide holes for the wood screws. So yeah, I would just use hand tools. Right. And this can slide around a little bit, so I kind of make sure that all the edges are all lined up. It helps for these wood screws to have like a little bit of a bigger screwdriver with a bigger handle so that you can screw it in a little bit easier. There you go. Oh, and yes, we need, again, the clamping shaft coupler. So there is one little thing to note here. So there's a split on the shaft. Oh, first of all, there are 2 different sides to this. So this goes in the larger side, so it'll only go one way. Doesn't go that way, does go that way. The only thing that I would note is that I line up the split in this clamping collar with the flat part of the shaft, of the motor shaft here. And that just makes sure that you have like a nice broad maximal amount of surface area that you're like clamping onto. So put it on. Now you don't want the collar to be smack up against here, because you know this whole thing rotates and that might have a lot of friction. So you can slide it on and then just back it off about like a 1/16 of an inch, just so that there's a little bit of space between the coupler here and the wall of the box. And I kind of hold it here while I kind of do the majority of the tightening with the long end. And now it's not going to move, but you do want to make sure to crank this down as well as you cranked down your hook to begin with. So again, pushing in as you're turning it and give it like a really good solid turn. So I did a turn there, and now I'm just rotating it so I get a better angle on it. And I'm kind of bracing it against my body a little bit. And so holding here, pushing down with my thumb, and rotate. There we go. Because you wouldn't want that to all of a sudden slide off as you're twisting, because then you'd get a hook potentially hitting you in the crotch. And we don't like hook punches to the crotch here. So yeah, there we go. Awesome. So now like the only thing that you would have left to do is to put the hook on this side. Same exact process we just did to put the coupler on, stick the hook in, tighten the other side down, and you're all ready to go with your SkeinTwister. Woohoo! Now you know how to swap out a motor. Not too hard, huh?